Now, a big story about a reporter who found the solution to a murder before the murder was committed. The Big Story.
Say, boss.
What is it, fella?
Here's that story I've been working on. I don't think you'll like it.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, I named the murderer in the lead.
You name the what?
The murderer.
You haven't got a corpse. You haven't got an apparent crime. You don't even know there's been a murder, and you name the murderer. Not in my paper, fella. Not in my paper.
The Big Story. Here is America. Its sound and its fury, its joy and its sorrow, as faithfully reported by the men and women of the great American newspapers. Huntington, West Virginia. From the pages of the Huntington Advertiser, the authentic story of the Corn Cob Killer. For his work in the case, to Harold Fowler for his big story goes the award. Huntington, West Virginia. The story as it actually happened. Harold Fowler's story as he lived it.
A mountain lion with bunions is a purring pussycat compared to your city editor, as he pins your ears back for handing in a certain story. You, Harold Fowler, of the Huntington Advertiser, have put one and one together to make two. Then two and two together to make a murderer. Deadline is writing page 1, and you have X minutes to justify yourself and your story. And the boss keeps yelling...
Not in my paper, fella. Not in my paper.
Why don't you read it first?
Before I tear it up, you mean? Sure, gimme. Ivy Rowe, river boy, is dead. His body lies at the bottom of the Ohio River. He is believed to have been murdered by Charlie Grimes. No. Believed to have been. By whom?
By me. Will you let me prove it?
Let you. Fowler, I'm all ears.
And into those unfriendly ears, you pour out your yarn. But first, before those unfriendly eyes, you spread on the desk a map of West Virginia, boss. Now look, follow the Ohio River. Here, down to the little town of Antiquity. That's where this whole thing started. Antiquity, no kidding. But the only thing that moves is the Ohio River. And even that's slow and easygoing. You tell the boss about this.
Way down by the river. Doggone it. So lazy and slow. This ought to do it. I'm fixing my engine. Oh, to see if she'll go. She's gone, Dad. No, I'd fix her.
Yeah, she's a rolling and a purring, Ivy.
She sure is, folks. Howdy.
Howdy. You sure walk quiet, mister.
Uh-huh. Boat for sale?
Nope.
Not even for $50?
Nope.
75?
Well, maybe.
100?
Yeah. But a man be a fool to pay that there for this year.
I'm a fool. One thing, though.
What's that?
I don't have the cash money on me. She's in the bank down the river, Point Pleasant.
I got an Uncle Very down there.
All right, then you ride me down that a ways, and I'll give you the money there.
Let me talk to my boy a minute, mister.
You go ahead. I'll look the boat over.
I don't trust him, Ivy.
But $100 is a lot of money.
I don't like his hoppergrass legs nor his catfish mouth, neither.
But $100, Dad, it's so needful.
All right. But I still don't trust him.
Oh, don't fret about me. All right, mister.
Bought myself a boat?
You got yourself a pilot, too.
You move your finger on the map down the Ohio to Point Pleasant, where Uncle Veery lived, and you tell the boss his story.
Yeah, there's my Uncle Veery on the dock. Hi! Hi, Uncle Veery!
Who's that?
It's me, Uncle Veery.
Well, hi, the boy. Land, how you gone and growed? What you doing downriver?
I saw the pilot in this fella, Uncle Veery. He's done bought the boat. Going to pay me out of the bank.
Well, come on up to the house and bring your friend. Reckon Aunt Eulie's got enough grits and greens extra.
Mighty kind of you, friend, but me and the boy don't want to put you out none.
Well, suit yourself, stranger. Ivy boy, you come on into the office and telephone your Aunt Eulie. When she learns you've been and gone without her seeing you, well, she'll just naturally feed me to the catfish. Well, come on, boy. I'll give you a hand. Ivy boy, who's that stranger?
Just a fella happened along, bought the boat.
Oh, I don't like him. I don't like to see you taking up with a stranger.
Ivy! Hey, Ivy!
Ivy, don't go with him.
I got to. We need that boat money. Besides, I'm growed up enough to catch for myself. Shucks, the way you talk, you'd think he was fixing to kill me or something.
Come on, Ivy. We gotta get gassed up. We got more traveling to do.
Where for?
Down the river. Ain't that right, Ivy?
Huh? Oh, sure. We're going on down the river, Uncle Veery. Going on down.
Now you put your finger on a town 70 miles down the Ohio, Portsmouth. But first, you tell the boss about this.
Veery, this here's Ivy's dad.
Why, howdy.
Let me talk to the boy.
Well, he ain't here. Ain't he there?
He ain't here. I thought he was still with you.
Oh, no, sir. He gone on down the river.
Veery,
Yeah?
call the law. Ask him to search the river up and down and search it good. I want my boy.
All that you had found out by digging in antiquity and in Point Pleasant. But there, all traces of the boat, its buyer, and the boy had ended. Soon, however, the police sent this message. Boat found in river off Portsmouth. And you sent this one back.
Hold man and boy for questioning.
And got this reply.
What man and boy? Question mark. Boat had nobody on board.
After you tell him that, you lay just one more thing on the boss's desk. It's a clipping from his own paper, your own paper, your own story, just 1 week old. And you refresh him on the story it tells, the story you yourself covered. That story began in the powerhouse of West Virginia State Prison at Moundsville. 2 convicts, one a trustee, are at their work.
Knocking off time, Charlie.
Yeah, and time you was, too.
Was what, man?
Knocked off!
A quick splash at the generator belt, and the prison is plunged into complete darkness. And of the 2 prisoners, the trustee lies dead, and the other over the wall.
Boss, that escaped convict was Charlie Grimes, serving life for murder. He took a life to escape.
So?
Look at your map. Here's Antiquity, and here's Moundsville. The time lag is perfect. A tall, soft-spoken stranger turns up at Antiquity 1 day after the break.
There's $100 for a beat-up boat.
Goes off in the boat with Ivy Rowe, and Ivy disappears from sight. 1 and 1 makes 2.
The way you lay it out, fella, it makes sense. If you only had a little more to go on than to hunt.
I have.
Then why didn't you say so? What is it?
The last person to see them together, the boy and the stranger, was Uncle Veery.
Yeah?
I confronted Uncle Veery with a rogues gallery picture of Charlie Grimes. He identified Grimes as the man with his nephew Ivy.
Fine. But do you know the boy is dead?
No.
Do you know a crime has been committed at all?
Well, no.
Might I ask what you do know?
I know Grimes is a born killer. He used to throw corn cobs in the air and plug them, and then say, I'd as soon shoot a man as a corn cob. And I know the life of a river kid wouldn't mean any more than a corn cob to Charlie Grimes if he thought for 1 second the kid was onto him. And I know the one way to stop him from killing again is to spread the story so the rest of the state is on the watch. And what's more, I've got a picture of Grimes to go with the story. Will you print the picture?
No.
Then will you print the story?
Yes. I'm sticking my neck out, but here goes.
Copy!
It goes through the desk, the linotypes, and makes page 1. And then your phone begins to ring.
What are you trying to do? Terrorize the community? You want to be horsewhipped. What are you trying to do? Tip off that killer we're looking for him? You show your hair around state police and you'll get it chopped off.
But that's not all. The next day, a lean, quiet man appears at your desk.
Mr. Fowler,
Yes?
you know who I am?
No, sir, I don't.
Shang Rowe. Ivy's dad.
Oh.
Somebody read out for me what you wrote up in the paper about my boy. That he was lying on the river bottom.
Mr. Rowe, I was only trying
You
to...
see, I can't read. So I got to have things spelled out for me. The Bible, papers, letters, and such. Till it was read out to me about my boy, I was hiding my fearfulness behind my hoping. But you killed my hope. Now I'm all fear. That ain't what I come to tell you, though.
What is it, Mr. Rowe, and what can I do for you?
You done it already, not for me, to me. What I come to let you know was I've been keeping all this from Ivy's ma.
I see. Well,
And you see, Mr. Newspaper Writer, it's Ivy's ma reads me the papers and such. I wanted you to know what you done. Maybe it was smart, I don't know about that. All I know is it weren't good, nor kind.
He lives. And Doghouse is the name for where you are. And the boss is no help either. He does it the subtle way.
Got your bag packed, fella?
No, why?
You mean you aren't looking for another job?
Oh, now look, boss, that's going too far after all.
No, he talks about going too far. Fella, if that boy turns up alive, there's only going to be one way to spell your name and mine. M-U-D. Mud. There's only one good thing that story accomplished.
What?
The police are dragging the river for a corpse that might not even be there at all, if there is a corpse.
Sure. The police are dragging the river. But they turn up nothing but old rubber boots and empty bottles. The next day, however, things look a little better.
City desk.
You got a fella named Fowler working on your paper?
For the time being. Why?
Well, you better send him on down to my town. Harper's Ferry, that is.
Who are you?
Sheriff.
Well, hold it a minute. Feller, pick up your phone and listen to this. Go ahead.
Well, you the man wrote up how Ivy Rowe was killed by Charlie Grimes?
I am? Why?
You better get on down here.
Why?
Oh, just 'cause he just checked in the hotel here.
Who? Grimes?
Nope. Ivy Rowe.
This is Cy Harris, returning it to your narrator and the big story of Harold Fowler as he lived it and wrote it.
You, Harold Fowler, of the Huntington Advertiser, have the paper and yourself out on a nice, juicy limb with a story that Ivy Rowe, river boy, has been murdered by Charlie Grimes, mountain man and escaped convict. The only thing wrong with the story is that you had nothing to go on but a hunch and a faith. But now, a phone call has just sawed that limb right off behind you.
So you better get on down here. He just checked in the hotel.
Who?
Ivy Rowe.
How do you know?
Huh? We just signed the register, and I can read.
You hang up. The look on the boss's face says censored. You reach for your hat.
And where do you think you're going? Down there. At least the kid's story is a story.
Go ahead. While you're at it, see if you can get me a new job, too. Sheriff? Well, I'm deputy. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking. Where's the sheriff?
Just retired. Be out in the hospital 2-3 weeks, maybe.
What happened?
Guy held at the post office. Shot the sheriff.
Was the fellow named Ivy Rowe?
How'd you know?
You count up to 10, and then to 10 again, while the deputy shows you.
See here? This here's his signature in the register. This he dropped out in his pocket in the fuss.
Newspaper clipping, huh? My story. Well, at least I've got one admirer.
While you're waiting for them to get your office on the phone, you wonder, had Charlie persuaded the kid to take up crime too? Or blackmailed him into it, maybe? Or had Charlie...
Feller?
Boss, I have news for you. Look, it seems...
Wait. I've got news for you.
But, boss...
But me no bosses. They found Ivy Rowe.
Where? Where?
Right where you said. The bottom of the river. With a bullet in his back.
So you were right. Now it's easy to figure. Grimes used the kid's name. But from now on, you're going to make it harder for him to work in the open. And hammer at him in the paper day after day till somebody spots him. Sure, big talk. Every paper in the state carries his picture. Every post office, every crossroads general store, from Fish Creek to Dry Fork, from Harper's Ferry to Canova. And what happens? He drops out of sight. 1 month, 2 months, no hide, no hair of Charlie Grimes. And you get mad. You hit the road. And while you're in Charleston lecturing on law enforcement, somebody holds up a store in Fort Gay on the Big Sandy. And the word comes back, it was Charlie Grimes. You backtrack, digging into his past, trying to find out where he might hide out. But before you can get a lead, somebody hijacks a cruiser where the Sandy meets Tug Fork. And the word comes back...
But that's him. Well, I know that face. That's Charlie Grimes. It was him.
Big Sandy, Tug Fork. Bossy's heading south along the streams.
Out of the state, sure.
And always sticking around people he can meld into. River people, mountain people.
A gas station in Marion on the Middle Fork in Virginia. In Mount Holly on the Catawba in North Carolina.
I'll just trouble you for that mail sack, ma'am. This here's a real gun, too.
Following the rivers and the mountain valleys. Boss, sooner or later he has... Hello.
Mr. Feller?
Yes?
This is the town marshal of Newberry, South Carolina. I've been carrying around one of your stories about this Charlie Grimes.
Yes, yes.
And if the fella just got off the train down here ain't him, I ain't marshal. Why don't you come on down here and we'll take him together?
Marshal, I'm there.
Yes, sir. I know how you've been going up and down the state on this fella's trail, making speeches and quizzing suspects, and you kind of got me all eager to help you out.
Yeah, that's what I hoped would happen. But where is he?
Well, he got off the train and headed straight for the hotel right across the square there. And he ain't come out yet.
Has it got a back door?
Sure. And the back door has got a watcher.
You're sure it's Grimes?
If it ain't, you've been printing a picture of his twin brother, 'cause... Make out like we're just talking the time away. He just come out. Fighting cocks, mister? Why, I got a pair of Lundy roundheads will gaff the gizzards out of your hog toppies and your white hackles as soon as... All right, he's gone into the grocery. Come on. Wait. Look through the window. That him?
That's Grimes.
Stand behind now. Miss Gentry?
Just a minute. Let me take care of this gentleman.
Gentlemen, huh? All right, buddy. Put up your hands.
Me?
I ain't pointing this gun at nobody else.
I ain't got no gun, mister.
Maybe so, but keep your hands up and turn to the wall. Mr. Feller, look in his pockets and drop what you find on the floor.
You're making a mistake. I got no gun.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. No gun, huh? 5, 6.
Anything else?
Yeah, hunting knife, jackknife, and a razor. That's all.
Man, you're a walking arsenal. What's in your back pocket?
Wallet.
What's the name on it, Marshal?
Rowe. Ivy Rowe. Come on, Grimes. Maybe when all the rewards for you are in, I can buy a pair of handcuffs. Right now, I don't need them.
Hours later, after you've promised him headlines galore, Charlie Grimes is on a train for Point Pleasant, there to face the parents of Ivy Rowe, the boy he killed. Why?
Well, it is this way.
Mister, when are you going to give me my money?
Pretty soon, Sonny.
I got to get home to my dad. He needs me for the work.
What you gonna tell him about me, huh?
Nothing. Why?
Ain't you gonna say I told you I wasn't aiming to pay you nothing for no boat?
You ain't going to do that to me. You got to give me what's coming to me.
I aim to, Sonny.
Well, then I ain't going to tell my daddy nothing. Just
Look yonder, Sonny. Big catfish just busted water.
Where?
There. There. I just figured sooner or later he'd know who I was, so I killed him. Say, fella.
What is it?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How'd you predict just what I'd done?
I knew the kind of mind you had.
See, now, ain't that something, though? You know, it's a pity you got me into this here jam.
Why?
You were plenty smart. You and me could have made a right good team. But when you wrote that there story about me...
The one you carried in your pocket?
Yeah, that's the one. When you wrote that one up, I figured on killing you next.
Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, I sure did. Never got the chance, though. Never got the chance.
In just a moment, we'll read you a telegram from Harold Fowler of the Huntington Advertiser with the final outcome of tonight's big story. Now we read you that telegram from Harold Fowler of the Huntington Advertiser.
Escaped life-termer in tonight's big story was returned to West Virginia State Prison. He was subsequently tried for both the murders of young Ivy Rowe and the trustee he killed in escaping. In each case, he received another life sentence. Consequently, he's probably the only prisoner in the United States serving 3 life sentences for 3 separate murders. Thanks a lot for tonight's Pell Mell Award.
Thank you, Mr. Fowler. The makers of Pell Mell Famous Cigarettes are proud to present you the Pell Mell $500 Award for notable service in the field of journalism.
Listen again next week. Same time, same station, when Pell Mell Famous Cigarettes will present another big story. A big story from the front pages of the Clovis, New Mexico News Journal. Byline, Jack Hull. A big story about a reporter who met a murderer who found that the killing of two men instead of one involved the freedom of a third.
The Big Story is produced by Bernard J. Proctor with music by Vladimir Selinsky. Tonight's program was adapted by Alan Sloan from an actual story from the front pages of the Huntington Advertiser. Your narrator was Bob Sloan, and Beryl Firestone played the part of Harold Fowler. In order to protect the names of people actually involved in tonight's authentic Big Story, the names of all characters in the dramatization were changed with the exception of the reporter, Mr. Fowler. This is Ernest Chappell speaking.